People always ask me, how do I become a prompt engineer? And to be honest, my answer is that prompt engineering is more a skill like Excel, not necessarily a job like data scientist. I sell my services as a freelance prompt engineer, but there are very few jobs where this sort of skill is needed full time, which is why I divide my time across multiple companies. There are three types of companies that I sell to. AI startups who need to improve the quality of their prompts, because when you're running this stuff in production, the tokens really add up and you can incur quite a lot of cost if your prompts aren't concise enough. But also, if the quality is not good enough, then you'll lose your users pretty quickly. So that's one segment. The other is agencies or marketing teams who want to automate their work, because I built a 50-person agency. I know a bunch about marketing, so I can usually apply my domain expertise there. And that's the other tip, is it's not just about learning how to do AI, but learning how to do AI in a specific domain, because every domain is different. And you quite often need to inject your own domain expertise in the prompt in order to get good results. And the final thing is large corporations who want their teams to use AI tools more. And that's the bread and butter training I do. That's what a lot of this training is based on. And it's people of all walks of life, people who have zero experience with AI, people who are technical, non-technical, the full gamut. So that's why I try and base this training on principles, because they're transferable across skill sets. Now, one thing you can do in order to get more work is to list your services on a website like Upwork. I know a few people are getting full-time work through that, but I find most of my work through creating content based on my own experiments with AI. So that's what I recommend. That's obviously a lot of work in itself. If you want to go the full-time employment path, you don't want to start your own company, I recommend going out and networking with AI startups, the founders of them, early employees, because they're usually pretty small teams. The founders are doing everything. So if you can just be helpful and you can inject yourself in their team without costing the founder too much time, then they will potentially consider hiring you. They're usually pretty well funded and quite often profitable, so they can afford to hire you. What they can't afford is a waste of time. So you have to show high agency, you have to demonstrate value, and quite often do a couple of projects for free before you earn their trust and they bring you into the fold. Alternatively, if you learn how to code, you can become an AI engineer. And this is a much more established role. It's been going for a lot longer than prompt engineering, although prompt engineering is becoming a bigger part of that role. And because it's an established role, there's active headcount, there's budgets, big companies know what they're doing when they're hiring those people, they have training for this sort of stuff, and you're going to learn the more technical things like data pipelines, fine-tuning, building custom models, that sort of thing, as well as prompt engineering. And for this, you'll need to learn how to code in Python or JavaScript, depending on what you want to work on. So if you want to work on the back-end data pipelines or fine-tuning, then Python is usually the language there. Or if you want to work on the front-end user experience, then there's no substitute for JavaScript. Whatever you decide to do, it's going to take a lot of work, because this is a new field. Nobody really knows what they're doing, so you're going to have to figure out what to do. You have to get competent, and then you have to find someone else who recognizes that competency. This is a tall order, but it's very enjoyable. And I really enjoy my work as a prompt engineer. It's very rewarding because you can see the results in real time. And hopefully you catch that bug too, and hopefully this course is the first step in that direction for you.